A very good morning to one and all. I am dealing with the course of Diploma Thermal Engineering 1. In that, today's topic is Avogadro's Law and Dalton's Law. The outline of my presentation is Avogadro's Law, problems on Avogadro's Law, Dalton's Law, problems on Dalton's Law. So, Avogadro's Law. Avogadro's law states that equal volume of all perfect gases under the same condition of temperature and pressure contain equal number of molecules. That means if we take the equal moles of all perfect gases under the same condition of temperature and pressure, means here the pressure and temperature remains the constant. So equal volume of all perfect gases contains equal number of the molecules. So this is the statement of the Avogadro's law. Consider n kg of gas whose molecular weight is capital M in kg per kilomole. So if we consider small m kgs of the gas, so for the m kgs of the gas, the molecular weight is capital M. Its units is kg per kilomole. The number of kilomoles n is obtained by the equation. So for calculating the number of kilomoles, it is obtained from the equation mass is equal to mass of a gas is equal to product of number of moles into molecular weight. So that implies number of moles is equal to mass of the gas by molecular weight. So if small n is equal to m means number of moles is equal to 1. So then mass of the gas is equal to molecular weight. That is the kilogram. So 1 kilogram mole of a substance is the amount of the substance in kilograms numerically equal to its molecular weight. Means 1 kilomole of a substance is equal to, so if n is equal to 1, it is the amount of the substance in kilograms, that is represented by the letter mass, is numerically equal to the molecular weight. It follows from the Avogadro's law that the volume occupied by the kg mole is the same for all gases at the same temperature and pressure. So it follows the kilogram follows the Avogadro's law, which states that volume occupied by a kg mole is the same for all gases for all temperatures and pressures only. So volume of 1 mole of a gas is equal to volume of 1 mole of any other gases. So this represents the Avogadro's law. So Avogadro's proved that all the gases whose mass is equal to the mole occupied by the same volume at NTP. Means another proof is also there for Avogadro's law that all the gases whose mass is equal to its moles occupies by the same volume. Means mass is equal to the moles occupies the same values at NTP. NTP stands for normal temperature and pressure. So the volume of a gas at NTP can be calculated by, that is, at a pressure of, means normal pressure is 1.01325 bars and 0 degrees centigrade, and whose mass is equal to its mole 22.4136 meter cube per kg mole. So we'll calculate the volume of a mass is equal to the volume of a gas, that is 22.4136 meter cube per kg. How do we calculate? So we know that the characteristic gas equation PV is equal to MRT. So from the above equation, MR is equal to PV by T. So we know the value of the pressure as 1 atmosphere, that is equal to 1.01325 bars, that is equal to 1.01325 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square. So 1 bar is equal to 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square. And volume is 22.416 meter cube by temperature is 0 degree centigrade. So 0 degree centigrade can be converted in terms of Kelvin as 0 plus 273, that is equal to 273.16 Kelvin. So MR is equal to 8314.02. So we have to convert in terms of joule per kg mole Kelvin as approximately 8314 joule per kg mole Kelvin. Since MR for an all ideal gases is a constant whose value is equal to 8314 joules per kg mole Kelvin. So the volume of 1 kg of a gas. So if we consider 1 kg of a gas. So PV is equal to MRT. If M is considered as a 1 kg, so PV is equal to RT. From that V is equal to RT by P. Substituting the value of R as 8314 joule per kg mole Kelvin, that in terms of kilojoules means 8.314 kilojoules per kg mole Kelvin, and temperature as 273 Kelvin, and pressure as 101.3 kilonewton per meter square. So by substituting these values, we will get the volume as 22.4 meter cube per kg mole. So this is the above volume. Hence, at 0 degree centigrade and 760 mm of Hg, that is 1 bar, that is equal to 101.3 kilonewton per meter square. The volume of 1 kg mole is 22.4 meter cube. So Avogadro's law can be written as volume is directly proportional to the number of moles. At pressure and temperature remains constant. So V is equal to Nk. So this proportionality can be removed by a constant K, where V is equal to volume of a gas, N is its units is meter cube, N is the amount of the substance of a gas, means number of moles of a gas measured in moles, and K is the constant for a given temperature and a pressure. So this law describes under the same conditions of temperature and pressure, vol volume of all gases contains the same number of the molecules. Means at its constant temperature and pressure, equal volume of a gases contains equal number of molecules. So for comparing the substance under two set of conditions, that is the initial condition and final condition, we will get the equation as V1 by N1 is equal to V2 by N2. Okay, where V1 is equal to initial volume of a gas, N1 is equal to initial number of the moles, V2 is equal to final volume of a gas, N2 is equal to final number of moles. So this equation shows that number of moles of a gas increases with increasing of a gas and also increases in the proportion. Similarly, if the number of molecules of a gas is decreased, the volume also get decreased. Okay, since their pressure and volumes are directly proportional. So thus the number of molecules or atoms in a specific volume of an ideal gas is independent of the two parameters such as the size of a gas and molecular mass of a gas. So this is about the Avogadro's law. So the Avogadro's equation is V is equal to Kn if two states are considered, when then V1 by N1 is equal to V2 by N2. Problems on Avogadro's law. So 1 mole of a helium gas fills upon an empty balloon to a volume of 1.5 liters. What would be the volume of a balloon if an additional 2.5 moles of a helium is added? Assume that the temperature and pressure remains constant. So in the problem, it was given that the pressure and temperature remains constant and the gas filled here is the helium. So 1 mole of a helium gas means initial mole of a helium 1 mole occupies a empty balloon of volume 1.45 liters. So 1 mole of a helium gas occupies 1.5 liters. So what would be the volume of the balloon if an additional 2.5 moles is added to the helium? Means to the initial volume, again we are adding 2.5 moles of the helium to the gas. So then what will the volume will expand. So we have to calculate the final volume. So from this is the problem description. In this problem description, given data is initial amount of the helium, that is N1 is equal to 1 mole, and initial volume of the balloon V1 is equal to 1.5 liters. Final amount of the balloon helium balloon N2 is equal to, for the initial volume we have to add additional 2.5 moles. So 1 mole plus 2.5 moles, that is equal to 3.5 moles. So to what we have to calculate final volume of the balloon V2. So we know that from an Avogadro's equation, V by N is equal to constant. That implies V1 by N1 is equal to V2 by N2. From that V2 is equal to V1 by N1 into N2. So substituting the values of V1 as 1.5 liters, N2 as 3.5 moles, N1 as 1 mole, we'll get the final volume as 5.25 liters. So the final volume of the balloon when the additional 2.5 moles is added to the initial conditions is its volume increases from 1.5 liters to 5.25 liters. Next problem. A 2.4 moles of a gas occupies 60 liters at a certain temperature. What volume be the 3.7 moles of a gas occupies? So in this problem, it was discovered that it is a gas. So a gas occupies 60 liters of volume with 2.4 number of moles. So if the gas volume, if the number of moles increases from 2.4 moles to the 3.7 moles, what will happen to the volume? Will increases from 60 liters to how much we have to calculate. So this is the problem description. So from the given data, initial number of moles N1 is equal to 2.4 moles, initial volume of a gas V1 is equal to 60 liters, and initial final number of moles N2 is equal to 3.7 moles. So what we have to calculate? Final volume of a gas V2. So we know that from Avogadro's equation, V1 by N1 is equal to V2 by N2. So from that V2 is equal to V1 into N2 by N1. So V2 is equal to V1 becomes 60 and N2 is number of moles is 3.7, N1 is 2.4. So V2 final volume of a gas is 92.5 liters. Next, third problem. A 85 liter flexible container holds 3.4 moles of a gas. How many moles of a gas should be removed to decrease the volume of a container to 40 liters? So in this, we are taking a container. In this container, we are filling with a gas. So volume of a gas is 85 liters with the number of moles is 3.4. So if the number of moles are removed and the volume is get decreases from 85 liters to 40 liters. So what we have to calculate, how many number of moles we are removed to reduce the volume from 85 to 40 liters. So given data, initial number of moles N1 is equal to 3.4 moles. Initial volume of a gas V1 is equal to 85 liters. Final volume of a gas V2 is equal to 40 liters. So we have to calculate final number of moles. So final number of moles is represented by the letter N2. We know that from Avogadro's law, V1 by N1 is equal to V2 by N2. From that N2 is equal to V2. So from that N2 is equal to V2 N1 by V1. So N2 is equal to, substituting these values, we will get the number of moles final as 1.6 moles. So when the volume decreases from 8.5 liters to 40 liters, then the number of moles decreases from 3.4 moles to 1.6 moles. Next, a sample of a gas occupies 2 liters with 5 moles present. What would happen to the volume if the number of moles is decreased to 10 moles? Means in this problem, we are taking a gas. So the gas occupies the volume of 2 liters with 5 moles. So if what will happen to the volume when the number of moles increases from 5 moles to 10 moles? So we have to calculate the final volume. So from the given data, initial number of moles N1 is equal to 5 moles. Initial volume of a gas V1 is equal to 2 liters. Final number of moles N2 is equal to 10 moles. So we have to calculate final volume of a gas V2. We know that from Avogadro's law, V1 by N1 is equal to V2 by N2. So V2 is equal to V1 N2 by N1. Substituting the value of V1 as 2 liters, N2 as 10 moles, and N1 as 5 moles, we'll get the final volume as 4 liters. So if a gas, if the number of moles increases from 5 to 10, so the volume also increases from 2 liters to 4 liters. Means it will get double. Next one is the Dalton's law. If a mixture of gases which does not interact chemically, each gases is exists by a partial pressure of a walls of a container, and each gas occupies the entire volume of a container. Means if we take a mixture of number of gases which does not interact chemically, so the partial pressure of a walls of a container occupies the volume of a container. So the Dalton's law states that total pressure of a mixture of a gases is equal to sum of partial pressure of each individual gases in a mixture. So if we consider a total volume of a mixture of all gases, its sum is equal to the partial pressure of a individual gases. So that can be explained by taking an example. So consider a two gases A and B in a vessel of a volume V and at a common temperature T and a pressure P. So if we consider a vessel in which there are mixture of the two gases A and B, so the volume remains constant V and pressure and temperature remains constant. So from the Dalton's law, P is equal to PA plus PB. So where P is equal to total pressure of a gas. So in that vessel there are two gases A and B. So PA represents partial pressure of a gas A. PB represents the partial pressure of a gas B. So P is equal to total pressure is equal to partial pressure of a gas A plus partial pressure of a gas B. And the volume remains constant. So total volume of a gas is equal to VA is equal to VB, where V is equal to volume of a gas, VA is equal to volume of a gas, individual gas A, and VB represents volume of an individual gas B. Next, relation between Cp, Cv and R. So the heat required by a unit mass of a substance to raise the temperature by 1 degree. So the amount of the heat required by a unit mass of a substance to raise a temperature by 1 degree is called as a specific heat of a substance. So the specific heat of a substance is also called as the heat capacity. So heat capacity of a gas can be broadly classified into two types, that is specific heat of a gas at constant pressure Cp and specific heat of a gas at constant volume Cv. So if we consider m kgs of a gas is heated at constant pressure, so here the pressure remains constant. So what will the other remaining two parameters vary? Volume and temperature. So as the heat is supplied, the gas will expand from initial condition to the final condition. And the initial condition of a state is V1 and T1. So V1 represents initial volume of a gas, T1 represents the initial temperature of a gas. To the final condition V2, T2. So V2 represents the final volume and T2 represents the final temperature. And pressure remaining kept constant. So the relation between the enthalpy and internal energy for a perfect gas is represented by H is equal to U plus PD. So internal enthalpy is the sum of internal energy and capacity to do work. So differentiating the above equation, we will get dH is equal to du plus d of PV. During a constant volume process, so this equation is the first equation. So here we are taking the constant volume process. So in the constant volume process, heat transfer is equal to the change in internal energy. So delta U is equal to dq is equal to delta U is equal to mcv dt. So if we consider m mass, that is 1 kg, so dq is equal to du is equal to cv dt. So dq is equal to cv dt. This is the second equation. That is, the specific heat of a gas at a constant volume is the rate of change of internal energy with respect to the volume. So cv is equal to du by dt at v. So during a constant pressure process, from the equation 1, dq is equal to cp dt. So heat transfer is equal to change in enthalpy. So dq is equal to dh is equal to cp dt. So dq is equal to cp dt. So this is the third equation. That is, the specific heat of a gas at a constant pressure is the rate of change of enthalpy with respect to absolute temperature. So the equation 3 can be represented as cp is equal to dH by dt. So dH by dt at a constant pressure P. So we know that from a characteristic gas equation, PV is equal to RT. So differentiating the above equation, we will get dPV is equal to RDT. So since R value is a constant, PV and dt will change us. Substituting equation 2, 3 in equation 4, we'll get the equation as Cp dt is equal to Cv dt plus R dt. So Cp is cancelling the terms dt. So Cp is equal to Cv plus R. So Cp minus Cv is equal to R. So this is the fifth equation. We know that again from the Reynolds law, Cp by Cv is equal to gamma. So Cp is equal to gamma into Cv. So this relation between Cv and Cp in terms of gamma and R can be described in our previous session. So the value of R is taken as a constant as 0.287 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. In that first problem, the gas constant for air is 0.287 kilojoules per kg Kelvin and the specific heat at constant volume is 0.714 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. Find the specific heat at constant pressure and ratio of the specific heat. So in the given data, it is a. So the gas constant of a gas is R is equal to 0.287 kilojoules per kg Kelvin and specific heat at constant volume Cv is 0.714 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. So we have to calculate the ratio of the two specific heats at a constant pressure and the ratio of the specific heats. In that first one, specific heat at constant pressure Cp. We know the relation Cp minus Cv is equal to R. So Cp is equal to Cv plus R. So Cp is equal to, substituting the value of Cv and R as, we'll get Cp as 1.001 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. And the ratio of the specific heat is given by the letter gamma. So from the Reynolds law, we know that Cp by Cv is equal to gamma. So gamma is equal to Cp by Cv. Substituting these values, we will get the adiabatic index gamma as 1.4. So the vessel of 2.5 meter cube occupies 1 mole of a nitrogen at 110 degrees centigrade and the gas is cooled at 35 degrees centigrade. Calculate the final pressure change in internal energy. Take gamma is equal to 1.4. So the initial volume of a gas V1 is equal to 2.5 meter cube. Mass of a nitrogen M is equal to 1 kg mole, that is equal to 1 molecular weight of the kg. So initial temperature T1 is equal to 110 degrees centigrade. So 110 plus 273, 383 Kelvin. So if the gas is full, the temperature reduces from 110 to 35. So 35 plus 273, 308 Kelvin. And the universal gas constant Ru is equal to 8.314 kilojoules per kg mole Kelvin. We know that universal gas constant is equal to product of mass into characteristic gas constant R. So R is equal to Ru by M. From that we will get R value for a nitrogen is 0.287. So to calculate the final pressure P2, we know the characteristic gas constant for an initial condition is P1 V1 is equal to M1 RT1. From that P1 is equal to MRT1 by V1. So we'll get the final volume here. Thank you.